Folks, welcome back, and of course, this fine address. I welcome all of you to Ghana Speaks Extension. Now, maybe the National Security Minister kidnapped and Captain Kodan 77. But before, my main presenting letter way Emma NPP, a letter to the NPP and the possible comeback. On last week, Friday, the Frontline wrote an open letter to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and outlined 3 fundamental keynotes. Mobakaya, last week, Friday, and I'm presenting NDC for letter no edema wonum. And I dream, ye de be so ma eye NPP for. Muntie letter we ya modia. Tonight, we have same letter for the governing New Patriotic Party. But before commencement, I speak on behalf of Ghanaians who are looking forward to public rendition of accountability of Akufo-Addo's stewardship, and Mr. President, this is non-negotiable. Your Excellency, noted. And I agree, me the MPP for letter ne bemawom, nemo me say so ejina on behalf of Ghana Fobi anemu se. Oman penny elect Ghana for pesi ehwese anio what the accountability, probity and accountability ye NDC for mon nyoma moto no probity and accountability be ye adwuma anytime from now, which is operation recovery loot now while launching ni bre woman ni ni breketo who say letter na me de ma NDC for me can say John Dramani Mahama the legacy of Bejama NDC one. And your legacy be our part 24-hour economic ramon for engagement. The legacy in the Bejana Sanko for 5 years. So I'm telling you. Now, young Koswe, tonight I am baffled, speechless, hearing in NPP are now talking. But the question remains, if NPP had lost these elections, will those elements be talking now? Adebi oma ama sesi amia no maye confused na menum kasa krato. Say NPP for no kasa, they are talking. They are talking because they lost. Why NPP is talking now? Nene mi bisa mo say enti se mo lose abanwa NPP, would you be talking by now? Secondly, the things they are talking about it today. If they knew about it yesterday, why didn't they talk about it yesterday, but talking about it today? There may be some NPP for ne say, and you ma si amuka ho asem sabriwe. Na munim sa de no na no no a, adan na manka ho asem na no no na mo ka ho asem ene. You know the things you are talking about. Check it. All the social media NPP platforms, when we radio and when we television, they've subjected those platforms for all such discussions. My issue is, why didn't you talk about it yesterday and now? Tonight, we are going to lay the bare facts. Some of the negative energies, negative what? Energies led to defeat, or if you like, the apocalyptic defeat of the NPP in the just ended elections. And I do be many be actually and Nioma and Nam Swa NPP for a guam who enim ase. Oma guam who enim ase in Ghana's political space. Being Caesar, dreadful defeat. The cataclysmic of their defeat is untenable. Meaning why? But first, let's identify them by their names. And indeed, if you plug out arrogance, impunity, and abuse of rights, every moi, and your man NPP for a lead you on defeat me be bubu bi so achiro. Chese, wo yi ni me bi se ahomomaso. ahomomasuo ahye NPP for no ma enianso ho kasa eni e kan say eni bria mode sisa nioma wo ye sa nioma efiri mu a enioma na mu defeat no e de bae no ma me mubo bi su nkyerem ensha se free one human element we figured out is why it's your chairman wound to me of Ashanti region. Yeah. Peter NPP ama munime guasi sabri ne kase no ba ko de nam no so defeat ne ba na maboni din a kire no chairman wound to me of Ashanti region. And number 1. Number 2, NPP hide behind the chorus of quote the Russian-Ukraine war unquote. Whilst Ukraine in the midst of the war continue to produce 56% of the global consumable oil. Whilst you are singing the Russian-Ukraine war, in the midst of the war, continue to produce 56% of the global consumable oil. Despicable people. Mote hanwa na moto sa anyom no echere Ghana fo no. And I muntimi developing economy is because Russia-Ukraine war. Russia and Ukraine were far away, million miles away from here. Na mo de sa anyom no to gu Ghana fo asum. Ebra mo tu ni nanso no sa oman no ye friend mo produce 56% of the global oil. See yeni. Meanwhile, the Russian government led by Rasputin continue to shell Ukraine with all kinds of weaponry, Tomahawk, cruise missiles, and so no more produce. Africa, located in the middle of the world, so offensive weapons and guns and all blazing. Yet Ukraine was producing that consumable oil for you and I. Fertilizers in Guasifo. Now, afi yemra number 3. Questions remain. Afi me the questions beto to hamamo. Questions remain. How many times did we hear a significant number of members of parliament belonging to the ruling government, including the party general secretary Justin Kodia, made it known the president should shuffle the government, plus the former finance minister, and then Yebebisa. What did the president do? Mante, early January of this year, Yebaya about 90 members of parliamentarians belonging to NPP. Eba Bontin say, hey, Mr. President, so when you finance minister name free government business to a halt. Yante, Mante. Another Chenya party ni general secretary Justin Kodia. Wa meken we enya asum say President Akufo-Addo so a reshuffle. Ni na kosi saying, what happened? Do you know the effect as adene edeba mo party ni so? Yankwe. Moreover, it is politically incorrect for a party to disown the government. Therefore, the party general secretary can only speak but cannot act. Obashane say here, Kodia, the obetumi ayan so obetu abanefo. But what it is politically incorrect for a party to disown the government. No, even though or although party no ene dey aban no ebae, but party no ontimi disown government and on disassociate no entimi nsi. Edi asam na yante. NPP mpedinfo wa parliament so omu tie tua. Se President Akufo-Addo yi ni nuane dia won be grand government abafom. Ye wo na Justin Kodia so ba say o man peni be reshuffle no ne ade ni na ekosi sen anya adwa o man peni ye nadwen say o ye the sole president and wo ye tintinintia ye ka asem a eye President Adodankwa Akufo-Addo onte the open way and then so wo be kofie akokuremu an wo be kofie wo hwenim guase a wagye ama ne party no any on one kasa. He will go as a former president in very shameful and in grand style. Number 4, question: how did the party handle the exit of their stalwart? Who is this person? Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen, following an internal party primaries. More handle is saying. Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen, prior to my internal primaries, and where then were parking Hunkuku Kakanokwe. NPP more handle. Na movie say easy oh. Na mo oh say ebinim kra bae ebe ke kamadwene kire Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen oh he should on fa na asem nko no na emfa mo ho. Na mo a ahomaso arrogance to the highest order. Na emfa mo ho. Yeah, mo a enenso e. Number 5, question remain. How did the party figure out and handle the Achim caucus collateral damage caused to the party? More handle the saying. Achim for na wom good party ni muno. Ah? Bonini Samonia. The lives of wine. Nana Santi bedi etuo. Sesi as waye funeral so waye den you. Gabi Asarochre Daku. Ken Ofori and Ata Ekanidi hu. These are the Achim caucus nimnia de ebi keka ho. Ba wo de ma minyina he ya. Hwe bonini Samonia. Wonu me dietie nipa e wo party ni mu. NPP foi. Mo ye madwe na hu hia se mo be ka ho asem. Anana san krofoi abeye de ben ya Frankenstein monsters in your party into mo ka ho asem a enye yie. Ene mo ne. Number 6, question remain. How did the party evaluated the propaganda, lies, inconsistencies, falsehood by candidate Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia during the campaign rendezvous? And also more handle the same. Movie is a Ghana for you, Jimmy. Yenimi yo. Aha, the American number 6. Here me papa. She entro na Bawumia penimuwe Dr. Wu. Na Bawumia jina campaign platform so a. Tesa won fa Ghana for nya hwe se entro anape wiane anadwo Bawumia di ntro di yedi amefi de Ghana for etu Bawumia din se oye Bawolaya aden na ni nyara no NPP mpenifo sase. Tesa as long as Bawumia will continue to lie, will perpetuate falsehood, inconsistencies, propaganda, no the paper, he will lie through to power. It was okay for the NPP. How did you evaluate this? More evaluate, Sadi we saying. Na easy, na okay, mama. Na esefatamo. Sa Number 7. Question remain. How did candidate Bawumia evaluated his religious principles and practices which adversely in conflict with other religious bodies like the traditional worshippers? Say a politics in tea and fahu. Right? Bawumia face a politics ni ye now so Bawumia peu on peu who free esumbim esumna womuno. There is something that runs conflict with your son. Muslim for Ebeka said, Muslim for asore akoye dia obe nanso se ubewura abosomfie no haram. Haram, and it's against the Islamic principles and practices. Yet, because of politics, Bawumia wouldn't care. NPP for more evaluate is how way saying Bawumia was just moving through and fro everywhere. Baby Anoko. All because of what? Bawumia was ready to defile. He was ready to defile the principles and the practices of his religion, and he will never be bothered. In the name of what? Politics and power. Number 8. Question remain. How did the governing New Patriotic Party evaluated the choice of candidates Bawumia against the backdrop of his lineage that can be traced to one of the protracted conflict in the country? Saying, mo evaluate Bawumia ne candidate ano mo evaluate ni saying say ora Bawumia hey MPP for minim de na hamo mo ntrase na mo misa mo sa asem we say ora Bawumia comes from one of the protracted conflicts that has worried the consciousness, the integrity, and the credibility of this nation for God knows more than saying a quarter of a century. Na mukuyi candidates manaba. Sa candidates no mukuyi no. We can trace the background of this candidate from that conflict zone, and you were not bothered. You were not so concerned about this. Baumia eye Mamprusi. Not the Mamprusis and the Kusafo. Ghana has spent considerable millions and billions on this conflict. Ghana's international partners continue to ensure that the Boko conflict will become a thing of the past. And still, NPP4, you did not see the adverse effect of bringing a candidate from one of the conflict zones. In other words, prior to the elections, how many days, weeks into the elections, what happened? Boko all those lunatics who were there and were clapping, oh, candidate Baumia, even cry, there are still NPP people out there still yearning and campaigning for Baumia in saying 2028. About down for change him. Come on, go and change Baumia. I'm not talking about the personified Baumia, no. But there's so many factors. If I really want to sit down and analyze it, but this is my portion. How can you bring a candidate to the conflict zone? Na munim the Boko crisis na eyo me. Munim e ka Ghana ye bo e wo Boko conflict no home. Na munko yi obi medi say ye beto aba me ka kire won. I told you people say bibia me ka bia sa bem. Me ni atro da. Ye beto aba how many days, weeks? Na Boko conflict and many musi say bam, there was a sporadic gunshot. How many people? About 18 plus more were killed, were shot and killed in cold-blooded. Ewo Boko, eboa. DNC and the hon. Wait, very latest pictures. There was a whole lot of movements within, in and out of Onwankasa Baumiani Krome. Meanwhile, NPP for them family, you were not even 1 minute security conscious. Your intelligence agencies couldn't even write a report to tell you, say, no, the candidates of Baumia poses a lot of security risk. Because Ghana's international partners, I was dealing with some of the top international partners within the intelligentsia who were say, what is wrong with this party people? Boko crisis nipe no emu na mokofa obi edeba se ombedi monim ada mabobo damu ana yare na mo yare mamenfa last one is you. Number 10 question remain, how did NPP prior to elections evaluated the Galamsey crisis? Ibizam Galamsey crisis na mu evaluating is saying na mu nim say be ha mo ana there be na mu hu ni krono a ese mo bo nti mo so a wo hwe eyinimu a document na edi tu dwa no a eye events ejapade document na aka second one eye hu aduma ne mo nia bre Galamsey eno na se wuntumi no abetena TV so ni TV so kurasesem want to me, no, the gold bars, abetna television, open television, brandishing gold bars, and he was just in front of him. Ahum maswo, akakabensam, and yanson, and the kasafi, and fam home. Meanwhile, gold na no brandish or TV, so on when him said no. President Akufo-Addo, you catch and say, o party chairman or Washington region. That low IQ guy, no, What a to gold. And to share come was President Akufo-Addo Babe defended. Come also Bibia did nakwem, Bonibia ni nakwem, Bonibia nsi, or ye need to come. Won't to me. I do on the bayo. Me say I do on the bayo. tese wuto wirem villa na wusi okumaso na amafo aye radio wo mbetwe wirem se kwaye bi kumase de ewira nya na kwaye so nya na jese wuti fam sa no ano no away pa away ko aya ade omde be yew wuntumi no te ho no mumisa mo ho galamsey fight Mose sa soldier for du kogu ho na mo da Ghana for. Open letter to the NPP. Ahana me de mo besie. All right. Okay. Afiyemra National Security Report no so. Folks,